Hey there, I'm DM Allen, and today I'm going to be showing you how to put together a pressure pot out of a pressure tank made for painting. It's a pretty simple process, and there's not much you have to put into it. You can build these for about $125, $150, and so why don't we get into it, and I'll show you how to do it.
All right, this is the list of all the things you're going to need. And I made it really easy for you. I put affiliate links down in the description. And while you're making your way down there, why don't you just smash the like button? Just absolutely destroy it. It really helps us out and it gives you that good tingly feel. Anyways, so one of the things I didn't include in here but are in the links down below is the Loctite. 545 is absolutely amazing. Also, please forgive the audio quality. I am working through it and trying to learn this visual medium. So, bear with me through this video.
Alright, so first off, we need to break the pressure pot down. How it comes is not necessarily how it needs to be in the final bit. So let's get started. So first off, inside of here, there is a tube. And so what this is it's a pressure paint tank. It pushes pressure down into the tank and through an external hose that goes to a spray gun. And then inside of the tank, there's this tube here. And the pressure from the top forces the paint up through the tube and out to the spray gun. We don't need any of that. We need to seal this up. So that's what I'm going to do. It's pretty easy. You just tighten or untighten it, and from there, inside the tank work is done. As long as you've got this guy right here. Now we're going to be doing pressure castings for resin. So what that means is we don't want air forced down into the actual chamber directly down. We want to disperse it somehow. And mine just so happened to come with this handy little dispersal that pushes the air to the sides of the pressure pot. Yours might not come with this, so you might need to buy an extra part. What you're looking for, though, is an elbow of some sort that forces the air out towards the sides if you don't have one. I'm going to continue breaking this down. What we're going to end up doing is, now that the inside's taken care of, we're going to take the outside bits off, and we're going to replace some of the parts in here and get it prepared so that we have a stable work environment for a pressure pot. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this elbow off. What's going to go here is our reducer. I believe this is a 3/8 reducing down to a 1/4 inch. So what we're going to do is put that right here and put inside of it a new safety valve. My safety valve leaks a little bit, and I don't trust it. Like I said, this is Harbor Freight, and they're not known for the best quality of tools, and so it's like a $4 part, so we're going to replace it. Alright, so before we install the reducer, we want to make sure that the threads are clean. I'm going to clean those out, and we'll get back to it. Okay, now that I've cleaned the threads out, all we got to do is Loctite this guy in there. So, what I highly recommend is Loctite 545. This is a hydraulics Loctite, which is going to basically make this guy airtight. It's what comes on like your air compressors, and what this guy would come with sealed in. It's going to make your parts really tough to remove, but that means that it's all sealed up. So all you need to do when you're using this stuff is you need to just apply a little bit on the threads, about 3/4 of the thread that's going to go in, and this stuff works as in the absence of air. So if you have a little bit of run out from it, then that's not a problem. You just wipe it away and the insides will be fine. What's really nice about this stuff though is you don't have to cinch it all the way down because it's going to get that really strong thread lock. So you can get your parts positioned perfectly and you don't need to worry about spacing your tightenings or over tightening so that you get a fitting facing the right way. That's going to work in our favor in the future when we're putting in the elbow for the input. Alright, now we just put in the safety valve. Great. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take this regulator and replace this T-junction. When we replace this, we're also going to cap the output on the regulator, and we're going to put this elbow on the input so that we can have our input air hose going straight into the regulator instead of off to the side. This is going to reduce weight on the side of the regulator and such, and it just kind of makes it easier to grab the hose and stuff. Again, we're going to clean these threads out because, well, the factory is awfully dirty. Okay, again, we're going to use the Loctite, and I personally want this guy facing towards me when I'm using it, so I will be just positioning it, not tightening it all the way down. I'm going to let the Loctite do most of the work. That's going to do us just perfect. All right, so I found these end caps for hoses, for like copper hose and such, but I know there's actual caps for these. I just couldn't find them at my local hardware store. So I did a test fitting of this, and these fittings actually do really, really well under pressure, so we're going to be just fine. Alright, now for the elbow. Now, I was thinking about putting all of the elbow together before I put it on, but this is why you want to do test fittings before you Loctite anything down. What I found was when you put it all together, I didn't have enough clearance between the top of the pressure pot and the end of my regulator. So, we need to actually put on the elbow with the Loctite, and then we put on our components. So I'm going to be opting for a ball lock valve. This is going to keep our air in the pressure chamber when we're not connected to our air compressor. We're going to be putting it between the nipple and the hose. Now just to connect it all up. My ball lock did need a adapter male to male to connect to this elbow. Your results may vary. And that's pretty much it. We didn't really have too much to do on this guy. Tear it down, put it all back together in the way we want it configured. It is all about what's comfortable for your workstation. So for me, this works great, and it only took about 15 minutes to do. So now what we're going to do is clean up what's left over of the Loctite that's squished out, and we are going to let it cure for about 3 days. After that, we'll come back, do a pressure test, and make sure that it's holding the pressure we're looking for. For pressure casting, I'm shooting for somewhere between 45 psi and no more than 60. This pressure pot is rated to go up to almost 90 psi. I wouldn't even get close to that. I'm going to stick right next to 60, no more than 60, just to keep it safe. Like I said, it's a cheap pressure pot, and there's no point in risking any explosion. Alright, so now it's been 3 days. I've given this enough time to cure the Loctite, and now what I want to do is pressurize it and check for bigger leaks, and then I'm going to, off camera, just leave it sit for 24 hours and see if it can hold a pressure. So let me show you how to check for leaks first. So you pressurize it up. Bring it up to the pressure that you're looking for. That'll do right there. About 40 psi is all I'm shooting for. That's more than enough for resin casting. So now you take a bottle of some sort of soapy liquid. I have a sanitizer diluted liquid. This is great for just, I don't know, for sanitizing things, and also creates enough soapy bubble to see if I've got any leaks. So what I want to do is spray that on each one of these joints in here and check to see if we have any leaks. You want to get it all around the entire joint and just inspect to see if some of that soap starts to bubble. And so what you would see here, I don't see any leaks on this guy, but what you would see, which is really good, is you see how we've got soapy bubbles right here? If we had a leak, this guy would be popping bubbles like crazy, and it would really show. So this is great. We don't have a leak, so now I'm going to leave this for 24 hours to check to see if it can hold the pressure I'm looking for. Now, something that I also did off screen is I dialed in my pressure safety valve. So my pressure safety valve is set to 60 psi, and how you do that is by, at least for this guy, is by tightening the top. So what you'll want to do is you'll want to find your pressure safety valve, and you'll want to research online to see how you adjust the pressure appropriately so that it discharges and opens up when it is at too high of a pressure. We don't want this guy exploding, we don't want parts getting damaged, so that's what that safety valve's for. I'm going to let this sit for 24 hours, and if we have any problems with it, I'll do a video on how to maybe fix some problems, but other than that, I'm assuming this is going to be good. This is pretty straightforward after this. Thanks so much for watching my video. If you have other ideas on how to accomplish this more efficiently, or just have comments on what we've done here, leave them down in the comments, and make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you out on the internet, everyone. Bye.